我下去就是以为哦，completely settled 以为啊。不想跟以为打交道吧 ？No childish fucks. No.
撩晒。
为什么你给我那些错的 address？
撩晒。喺200เมตรเลี้ยวขวา This is how it felt a little bit looking at the back of it. So really, it was a tough decision was made that we could delete his appearance and Return of the King, despite the fact we'd already shot it.
This was terrible. I remember
800 เมตรชิดซ้าย800 เมตรชิ
your
ดซ้าย
essential role in Lord of the Rings. Now you're part of Star Wars. Relax.
He was thrilled to be in all of the new popular movies that were popular with, I mean, the movies that he was always in popular movies. Even the Hammer films were popular pictures, but they weren't mainstream popular like blockbuster popular. And when you get into working with George Lucas and working with Peter Jackson, I mean, now you're talking about these are huge budget movies that are seen by millions of people the world over, and it's the top of the heap. You really can't get much higher than that. And I think he was really thrilled at that point in his career to say that, okay, I did this. I went from here. I went from tiny parts in swashbuckler movies in the early 50s to, the top of the heap and playing the most respected directors, Scorsese included, in the world.
ชิดซ้าย
He was very aware that these were big name directors, but he seemed to forget that he was a big name
不
actor.
要急嘛呀，不要 fuck rain 啊！哇，真的有这个必要吗？下雨嘞，不是你的玩浇进水嘞，fucking function 嘞，真的。This is beyond stupid 嘞，真的。
The Lord of the Rings quite rightly won many awards. And then I started to as well. I realized that there comes a point at which they give you awards merely for still being alive. I was very moved and grateful for all of them, but there is a long two-coded message attached to every lifetime achievement award, which suggests that one might no longer be considered the promising newcomer and that one's potential might now be spent. The old
always had problems. He always had things. But he just passed away. That was it. It was peaceful. He didn't suffer. He just went to sleep.
I was coming off stage, got a message from Geeta on my answering machine. I had friends in my dressing room who'd come to have a drink, and I suddenly burst into tears and told everyone to leave the room.
Go to London. Now, part of me always didn't think, well, I must go quick Christopher record. You know, still not quite. Because London just, somehow when I'm in London, I get that thing, Give Christopher a Call gets triggered in me, so I haven't got quite used to the idea. Maybe it's not there anymore.
Knowing him was one of the perks of being in the movie business. I met him greatly.
Christopher was certainly one of those people that was very much a part of me, very deeply much a part of me. I feel just gratified that he was so much part of my life, and he made my life that much better.
Last time I saw
清
Christopher,
燈清燈
it was about 4 months before he died. I went to visit him in his flat in Cadogan Square. I just felt, I don't know, I got emotional because he was talking about dying. You know, he's saying, will you stop it? Jesus Christ. I didn't come to see you to get depressed. Actually, he became pretty funny after that. And that's the last time I saw him. I really loved him. I was delighted and honored to know him. And I miss him terribly.
What really choked me up was the next day I looked up something about him, and it said Christopher Lee was an actor. I don't know, they changed the is to was for 24 hours. And that really broke my heart.
Well, there we go. Our time draws to a close, and the grave beckons me once more. I do hope you have enjoyed this exhumation as much as I have. Good evening.
Fuck you really 真的 cannot drive don't drive 真的 just fuck off take grab oh my fucking god 咧真的喺那邊 road hog viciously road hogging 你真的你搭腳車算了啦要走這樣慢奇怪懂啲不歡
To meet someone who made the whole world believe that he could fly.
There is something about America which is very short on heroes. We need something. We need all the heroes we can get.
Good afternoon, Mr. President. Mr. President and ladies and gentlemen, Superman may be make-believe, but the qualities of courage and of character that make him unique are very real.
He starred in 4 Superman movies, making him one of the most famous faces in Hollywood.
I know. Superman has changed everything.
Any more at home like you?
Not really, no.
Today, Superman. Tomorrow, what?
I've got another 20, 30 years ahead and a wider range of roles to come and more interesting parts to play.
Do you prefer to be called Chris or Christopher or Mr. Reeve?
Sir, Your Excellency. Chris is fine.
For the first time, my professional and personal life seemed perfectly balanced. Our plans for the year were falling into place beautifully.
Just take a second to really make a wish for the new year. Think about a nice wish for the new year, and we'll all blow out the candles together. 1, 2, 3.
And then, in an instant, everything changed.
Just fucking Renee.
Most of what I remember about my dad comes from stories and photos and videos. It's coalesced in my brain as a memory, and it's kind of a perfect day. My childhood bedroom shared a wall with my parents' bathroom, and when I was a little 2-year-old, when I woke up, I would knock on the bathroom wall, and my dad, he would knock back, and then he or my mom would come around and carry me in. My mom was out of this world. A hug from my mom was like being wrapped up by the sun.
Forever and ever we will know that this is how I look in the world.
Hey, Matthew.
Like, fuck you
Merry
啦！
Christmas.
你使火車賣火車啊！甲你講，
Al. Merry Christmas.
我見到自賣突啊！
Matthew and Al are my half siblings, but as we say, they're snow half. They're my brother and sister.
Dad and my mom separated when I was 3, and so pretty early on we had 2 households. During the school year, my brother and I would be in England, and then every vacation we would come over to the States.
Great. Usually, get like 10 days or a couple weeks.
Very, very close up, Mr. Reed.
Doing things with my dad. It was all about activity and action. Riding bikes, playing soccer, skiing, swimming, horse riding with my sister.
2 words from Al's trainer. How's she doing, Coach?
Doing good. She's getting ready. I think we're going to go to Saratoga and jump the big ones this year. She's really getting in the money.
Good to hear. Thanks very much.
Learning how to ride horses was strange for me because I've always been allergic to horses.
He was cast in Anna Karenina, and there were riding scenes, and he realized if I'm going to do this and be on a horse, I have to do it for real. He injected himself with antihistamine every day for months.
I sort of took a crash course enough to get me through the movie. If you look, that's actually me in the middle of the Hungarian national equestrian team doing steeplechase. I was in the middle for a good reason, because if I was about to go, they could catch me and keep me on. But anyway, my wife and I have riding in common. It's become a very central part of our life.
He just absolutely adored it.
He was an intense guy. He didn't do anything half-assed. You could not fail and quit. It was like, you try, you fail, you try hard.
Back in the Superman years, I always used to joke about needing to be very careful because I didn't want to read a headline in the New York Post like Superman hit by school bus. I was getting to be a pretty good rider.
And third place, Denver, written by Christopher Reeve.
Our latest entry. This is Will Reed. Say hi. Hi. This is Memorial Day weekend, 1995. My dad was competing in a cross-country horseback riding competition.
And was just so excited to get down there.
And my dad had been in London for some reason a few weeks before. We said goodbye and I ran upstairs to, like, I guess watch him, you know, walk away. And I remember him turning, I guess instinctively knowing I would do that. And he gave this wave. That was the last time I saw his feet.
Rumors have been flying since 42-year-old Christopher Reeve fell off a horse this past weekend. Well, tonight, many of the worst reports are true.
Wendy Rieger joins us now with the latest from the hospital in Charlottesville.
Today, we're hoping to get an update on Christopher Reeve's condition.
Doctors aren't saying too much about his chances of pulling through. Millions of people around the world are praying and remembering tonight.
The Reeve family has refused to talk about the injury. Their silence prompted much speculation that he was near death.
I just remember thinking that's impossible. We just kept trying to call and find out what was going on and was it true and how could that have happened? I mean, there was so much disbelief.
Matthew and I flew over with my mom. It was circus mode at that point. And we still didn't know a thing because nobody knew what was happening. There was this big cloud of confusion.
We saw Dana and she just burst into tears. First time I'd seen her cry, I think, ever.
What a horror show. It wasn't clear what was going to happen.
His doctor met the press. The news is not encouraging.
Mr. Reeve currently has no movement or spontaneous respiration. He may require surgery to stabilize the upper spine in the near future.
You know, he almost died. His heart stopped.
He flatlined certainly twice. He was given basically a 50-50 chance of surviving to the end of the day.
You think of your parents as completely invulnerable. And he was always so careful and so capable. And I mean, he was just dad, right? Like this constant that you never even have to think about.
The surgery that they did on my dad had never been done before. They reattached his head to his body.
Tragic news for the actor known for his role as the Man of Steel. Virginia doctors now confirm that Christopher Reeve is indeed paralyzed and unable to breathe on his own.
Superman, crazy. Just that simple little thing over the horse, just crazy.
Unable to avoid thinking the darkest thoughts. Because it had dawned on me that I had ruined my life and everybody else's. I won't be able to ski, won't be able to sail, won't be able to make love to Dana, won't be able to throw a ball to Will, won't be able to do a thing. This can't be me. Why me? There's gotta be a mistake. I'm an idiot. God, I'm trapped. No, what am I gonna do to myself? It's gonna be a charity case.
He was in and out of consciousness.
He was having clearly what were horrible hallucinations.
Please, for some reason, I didn't get my hands down and break my fall. Witnesses said that Buck was absolutely willing and ready. That I was going not excessively fast. Apparently, Buck started to jump the fence, but all of a sudden, he just put on the brakes. It was what riders call a dirty stop. I landed right on my head, 6 feet 4 inches and 215 pounds of me. This brake is what happens when the trap door opens and the noose snaps tight.
对吗？没事不？就这个。多嘛？那花车说来说去，不是。那个呢？对了。哦，我出来呀。全世界还要等你。
Half an inch to the right. An embarrassing, scary fall that he got up and walked away from. Half an inch to the right.
This brake is what happens when the trap door opens and the noose snaps tight.
Half an inch to the left. Dead instantly. Half an inch to the right. An embarrassing, scary fall that he got up and walked away from. We had my third birthday party outside the ICU. Dana threw like a birthday party for Will, complete with like really annoying clown. And he had like a really good time and really enjoyed himself.
She tried to keep things normal for Will, to try and protect him as much as she could.
There was some fighting within the family. My dad's mom wanted to take him off life support.
He has low moments. I think anybody with an injury as severe as his is bound to have low moments.
My mom did not want to do that.
He's a fighter, But this has to be the toughest challenge that he's ever faced. I know it's mine.
Dana came into the room. She knelt down next to me and we made eye contact. And then I mouthed my first lucid words to her. Maybe we should let me go. Dana started crying. She said, I'm only going to say this once. I will support whatever you want to do because this is your life and your decision. But I want you to know that I'll be with you for the long haul, no matter what. And then she added the words that saved my life. You're still you, and I love you. I think if she'd looked away or paused or hesitated even slightly, or if I felt there was a sense of her being noble, I don't know if I could have pulled through. You are still you, and we love you. So out of that discussion of, is it going to make sense for him to stay alive, came that encapsulation in a way of the value of living. Everyone's devastated, but it was not without moments of grace. One that was just incredible was Robin Williams.
Hello, I'm Robin Williams, and if you don't know that...
Robin Williams had been Dad's roommate and had this deep relationship with him going back so many years.
I think Robin is one of the great human beings that was ever put here. I mean, I'm the godfather, his son, and everything. What you got with Robin is just waves of humanity and respect come from him.
His wife, Marcia, became my mom's best friend and is like a sort of fairy godmother to me.
And Robin's approach was a little bit different than other family members.
They'd just taken him off of the heavy sedation, and I think he was just coming back. And I came in and as a Russian proctologist.
Thank you. Thank you. 哎呦顶啊！
He didn't know you were coming in?
No, I put, well, they put me in scrubs, so I just had the face. And I said, if you don't mind, I'm going to have to put on a rubber glove and examine your internal organs. And I kind of said, oh, look at the size of this baby. And I saw he started to laugh because his eyes lit up and he knew it was me.
My old friend had helped me know that somehow I was going to be okay. I mean, life's going to be very different, but I can still laugh.
And Robin is a really good friend. Anything, if you needed anything, he would be there.
I think he and Robin were such good friends because they could match each other. I mean, Chris didn't have Robin's, but he could keep up with him.
Or somebody's fantasy.
Not many people could do that. He could.
Somehow I was going to be okay. I mean, life's going to be very different, but I can still laugh.
And Robin is a really good friend. Anything, if you needed anything, he would be there.
I think he and Robin were such good friends because they could match each other. I mean, Chris didn't have Robin's, but he could keep up with him.
Or somebody's fantasy.
Not many people could do that.
As I started to face reality in intensive care, moments from my former life kept popping into my head. It was like a slideshow, but the pictures were all out of sequence. The most cherished memories when I was whole, healthy, free. After graduating from Cornell, I had planned to go to New York and join the ranks of young hopefuls trying for a career in the theater.
Juilliard is one of the best schools in the country, and you learn how to move, mime, tumbling, acrobatics, acting.
You and Robin Williams were classmates?
That's right. We were in the advanced program.
And we were training to be Shakespearean actors in the English tradition, able to enunciate for no reason.
There was certainly nothing they could teach him.
Yes, I've already cleared the theater with the
John Houseman had just won the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor.
He said, Mr. Reeve, it is very important to become a serious classical actor. Unless, of course, they offer you a load of money to do something else.
I probably gravitated towards the theater as a way out of uncertainties growing up. That the theater became a neutral kind of territory, but that felt like home.
I'd grown up between two families, and neither one ever seemed truly secure.
The family backstory is complicated. I'm not sure how much I want to get into the whole Reeve side because they were just so fucked up.
My father, the poet and scholar Franklin Reeve, courted my mother, Barbara Pitney Lamb, ardently. But there was a widening gulf between my parents when I was born.
When I was 3 years old, my parents got divorced, and there was a kind of acrimony between them that was really painful. It was sort of, you had to call out the National Guard to keep peace between them,
Both his parents remarried twice and had other children. So it was a big family, quite fractured.
I think it felt like he lived on shifting sands because he had gone back and forth between his mother's household and his dad. He never really felt that sense of home.
Franklin, even if he wasn't around, he played a big part in my dad's life.
I'm sure there was an element of, how do you satisfy the father that, in a sense, left you?
So it was this really charismatic man who could do anything from translating Dostoevsky to sailing a boat and chopping trees and playing tennis, and it was really scary. I thought I'm never going to do anything to impress him, I'd say I was in this play and say, I got good grades here. Nothing seemed to make any difference.
But I found relief from all this uncertainty in playing characters. I like knowing the entire storyline. The beginning, middle, and end.
We were cast in the same play in 1977. He was just another, good-looking young actor when I met him. He had the whole movie star thing. You're going, oh, yeah, great.
really impressed me was how smart. Now, I ain't stupid. Maybe I'm dumb, but I ain't stupid. In the play was another new guy named William Hurt. Second last weekend, Chris says, I'm going to London and I have to screen test for the movie. For someone to say that in an off-Broadway dressing room, it's just, what? When? Where? Huh? And Bill said, what movie? And Chris said, Superman. And Bill went right into, don't go, you're going to sell out, you're an artist. And Chris said, no, Brando's going to play the father. I don't care, you're selling, I mean, he just was really on it. To London tonight, I have to screen test for the movie. For someone to say that in an off-Broadway dressing room, it's just, what? When? Where? Huh? And Bill said, what movie? And Chris said, Superman. And Bill went right into, don't go, you're going to sell out, you're an artist. And Chris,
my dad,
Claudia.
I probably gravitated towards the theater as a way out of uncertainties growing up. That the theater became a neutral kind of territory, but that felt like home.
I'd grown up between two families, and neither one ever seemed truly secure.
The family backstory is complicated.
I'm not sure how much I want to get into the whole Reeve side because they were just so tough.
My father, the poet and scholar Franklin Reeve, courted my mother while the children ardently. But there was a widening gulf between my parents when I was born.
When I was 3 years old, my parents got divorced, and there was a kind of acrimony between them that was really painful. It was sort of, you had to call out the National Guard to keep peace between them, you know. Both his parents remarried twice, and had other children. So it was a big family, quite fractured.
I think it felt like he lived on shifting sands because he had gone back and forth between his mother's household and his dad. He never really felt that sense of home.
Franklin, even if he wasn't around, he played a big part in my dad's life.
I'm sure there was an element of, you know, how do you satisfy the father that, in a sense, left you?
So there's this really charismatic man who could do anything from translating Dostoevsky to sailing a boat and chopping trees and playing tennis, and it was really scary. I thought I'm never going to do anything to impress him, you know? I'd say I was in this play and said, I got good grades here. Nothing seemed to make any difference.
But I found relief from all this uncertainty in playing characters. I like knowing the entire storyline. Beginning, middle, and end. We were cast in the same play in 1977. He was just another, good-looking young actor. When I met him, he had the whole movie star saying it going, oh, yeah, great, What really impressed me was how smart he was. Now, I ain't stupid. May have been in Dumb and Dumber, but I ain't stupid. He was just another, good-looking young actor. When I met him, he had the whole movie star saying it going, oh, yeah, great, What really impressed me was how smart he was. Now, I ain't stupid. May have been in Dumb and Dumber, but I ain't stupid. In the play was another new guy named William Hurt. Second to last weekend, Chris says, I'm going to London tonight. I have to screen test for a movie. For someone to say that in an off-Broadway dressing room, it just, what? When? Where? Huh? And Bill said, what movie? And Chris said, Superman. And Bill went right into, don't go, you're going to sell out, you're an artist. And Chris said, no, Brando's going to play the father. I don't care, you're selling, he just was really on it.
We were frantically looking for a Superman, and the casting director had lined up many people, dozens of Neil Diamond wanted to be Superman, you know. Robert Redford, we made an offer, immediately got a no.
He goes on now.
Bruce Jenner,
Yeah, that's right.
there he goes. Physically he was very good, but the acting there, not so much. Schwarzenegger was running after us. He had theoretically the physique of the comic book. Ik vind dat duizend maar als eentjes justice to the American way.
You asshole.
The idea came rather than casting a well-known Superman, we should go for an unknown and have stars around him.
We had made a costume out of a blue leotard, and Chris was sweating like a stuck pig. I took black shoe polish and blacked his whole head, and this skinny little kid did a scene with various ladies who were up for the part of Lois Lane.
Why are you here?
So I'm here to fight for truth, for justice in the American way.
They flew Sunday night, screen tested in London on Monday, and then flew back Monday night. Bill said, how'd it go? Chris said, I got it.
I realized that if I could pull off this part, it would change my life.
It's urban myth in our family that Dad got the part of Superman and told his father, and Franklin ordered champagne. This is a very un-Franklin thing to do. Cheers, congratulations, so proud of you. There was a miscommunication.
His dad thought that he was talking about the famous play Man and Superman by George Bernard Shaw.
Not the legendary comic book character. Franklin didn't approve.
How did he tell you that he got this part of Superman? It was after the contract was signed.
It was not serious enough. It wasn't academic enough. It wasn't intellectual enough. It was embarrassing.
I was extremely anxious to please my father. It was difficult to be myself, or literally breathe easy when he was around. Since the accident, I've had time to look back. Much more time than I would have liked.
Reed took to the skies this afternoon. He was transferred from Charlottesville, Virginia to the Kessler Institute.
In a terrible twist of fate, the actor's last role was as a crippled policeman in the movie Above Suspicion.
The physical therapy nurses would work with me and say, this is how you get in and out of the bathtub, this is how you get in and out of a car, you know.
And every time I left that rehab center, I said, thank God that's not me. I was very smug about it, and I regret that so much because I was setting myself apart from those people who were suffering without realizing that in a second that could be me. Yeah, left is hard.
Christopher now faces what hundreds of thousands of disabled men and women face daily in this country and around the world. Limitations, frustration, sorrow, anger, humiliation, injustice.
When Dr. Kirschblum took over the responsibility for my care, it was a tremendous psychological boost.
I know it's tedious.
Here?
No.
Up there. No.